What is, everyone? To the Nerd On Update, the weekly show where we talk about the stuff in the news that excites us, and we also answer questions from you, the people. We got the Tom and Corey show tonight, which is arguably the fan favorite of the series. I don't know what I'm talking about. We're kicking it. We're keeping it easy and sleazy here tonight. How was everyone's weekend? Tom, how was your weekend?
You know, pretty crazy. What happened? What even happened? I mean, like, I think just like the week is like bleeding into the weekend. Um,
Sure.
we played on Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like,
Felt like a
cause
long time ago. It was Saturday though.
yeah, there was like there was an event on Friday, and then we played on Saturday, and then on Saturday, um, what did I have to do? I had to move my office for work, and that's why I'm
Sunday.
like, Sunday, yeah, Jesus, Sunday had to happen, and then Sunday was another holiday party that Corey was also invited to, but maybe invited like maybe 2 hours before it started. So you know, shout out to the homies who invite you 2 hours before a thing, and say, dress in your evening attire.
It happens. It happens.
What else happened?
We got some magic in. That was fun.
We got some
Stayed up
magic
way
in.
too late.
I don't know. That's fine
Way
with
too
me.
late.
That's fine with me. Like honestly, if it was
I have a kid who gets up
magic,
at 6:30.
you have a kid. You have a kid. You have a kid. You have a kid. But
It was worth it.
I played some games up north with friends who have kids, and we were up until like 1 a.m. and I lived like 45 minutes away, and that was kind of insane. But you know, when I show up, it's kind of an occasion, so you know what it's like
Sure,
when you
right.
show up. Yeah, everyone kind of stays a little late when you're visiting town.
Any magic
Um,
night for me is an occasion.
yeah,
As
yeah.
a parent, anytime anyone's like, "Y'all want to play magic?" I'm like, I'll stay up as late as you want to play some magic.
And
But yeah,
You made some awesome spiked eggnog. I don't know what kind of spike it is, but it had some alcohol in there, which was very delicious.
Mm-hmm. You know what it was? Eggnog and Crown, baby.
Crown, you and Crown Royale.
I put this shit in everything. It's like my Frank's Red hot sauce. Put this shit
Yeah.
in everything.
What else happened? I think I just cleaned up and got my tickets for holidays.
Nice.
Um, yeah, dude, this is the second to last update of the year.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Penultimate, some might say.
Yeah. What else? Oh, I watched. I did a lot of cooking. I did a lot of meal prepping for the week while watching Gremlins, and I forget that
Mhm.
Gremlins is also like a Christmas movie. Like I don't. For some reason, it just reminded me. I was just like, I just thought of
Oh, it
like,
is.
yeah, I just thought of like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids kind of craziness, and I was like, oh, it's a Christmas movie, and I was like, oh, I guess I
Yeah,
watched a
it
Christmas
totally
movie.
is. I
Um,
totally forgot it's a Christmas movie. I haven't seen that movie in probably like 10 years, but
and I completely forgot about Judge Reinhold in there.
my
And
name's Judge.
and how his entire existence from the late 80s is just I have the hots for Phoebe Cates, my
Hmm.
career. And I was like,
Yeah.
she's in this movie? He's in this movie? He better not say something to her. And then he says something. I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. But I'm like, I don't know. It's just really kind of funny, I guess, where it's like, wow, I guess things don't change that much. But what else what else
Just wanted an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. Just give the
weenie
man
whistle.
his Oscar Mayer
Wasn't
weenie whistle.
he supposed? She's supposed to be the no. Mikey made the joke. He's like, "Oh, you know, she was supposed to be the mom in the Santa Claus." And then I was like, "Really?" He's like, "No, but then wouldn't that be crazy?" And I was like, "Fucking Christ!"
They
That
do
was
that. I mean, there's like Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan that decade. They did a bunch of films together.
they
People
do.
just like pairing people together in movies. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man.
How
My
about you,
weekend was all
man?
right. My weekend was all right. The Magic was the highlight. That was a good time. Um, what did I do Friday? Friday I worked and then I came home and relaxed a bit. Saturday was magic. We did a lot of stuff during the day. With a toddler, you're just bouncing around a whole bunch. Sunday, I got some work done on this passion project that I've been doing, the ranch, live at the ranch. So that felt really good. I went down a rabbit hole. The internet blew up over Robert Pattinson in the new Miyazaki film. Did you see this?
I didn't
This isn't.
see what you're talking about, but how about you talk a little bit about at the ranch? What's that about? What like?
Oh, At the Ranch Live is it's a passion project I've had kind of cooking for a minute. Shout out to my sister. She's got a bunch of talented musician friends up in the Sonoma area, Sebastopol and Sonoma, and we have this family ranch that our great grandpa built up in Sebastopol. Super vibey, and I've always really enjoyed photographing and filming live music.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just kind of brought those two things together, invited a couple of her friends up to the ranch to film some live sessions. The first episode's out. The second episode's coming out this Friday with Trevor Bonson. He's a wonderful musician. I think he's in Nashville now. But I was lucky enough to film a couple songs of his off his new album that just dropped. So if you check that out, At the Ranch Live, there's a link to his Bandcamp where you can get his new album, and it's absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I got 3 episodes of that shot already that I'm editing, and then I'm filming 3 more over the winter break. So it's been really cool to finally have that come to fruition. It's been sweet.
Nice.
Thanks for asking, Tom. Appreciate it.
You glossed over that shit as if I give a fuck about Robert Pattinson's like, oh, he can act. He's not just using his. He's not being fucking Mushroom Kingdom.
Here we go. No, well, the thing
It's
that the internet
Monday.
was blowing up about is one of the people who worked on the film leaked it that usually in a voiceover session like this, you'll get a script and you'll come in and you'll work out the voice with the director. You'll have some ideas or whatever, and you'll kind of go through the lines for a little bit and then go land on a voice together, right? Apparently, Robert Pattinson came in with like a month's worth of iPhone audio recordings of him practicing doing voices, and just blew this thing out of the water with his performance. It's a star-studded cast anyway, but he sounds. There's people have been editing things from the trailer together with his lines, and sounds phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch it.
It sounds like Willem Dafoe, and then you realize that Willem Dafoe does not play that character, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like, and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, oh, Willem
It's
Dafoe's
wild.
in the movie, but it's like, okay, but I was like, wow, that's Robert
Yeah.
Pattinson. So
I'm pretty pumped on it. I'm here for it. I dig that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Robert Pattinson as well.
that happened also with Christian Bale with Howl's Moving Castle. Like after Spirit Away, he was like, I'll be in anything, and then was it Brad Bird? No, John Lasseter, who was running things for the Miyazaki adaptations. He was just like, you'll just be the titular character, Hal, and I think that was.
Oh, because Bill was like, I'll be any character you want.
You'll be
whatever
anyone.
you.
I was
I'll
like,
do it.
fine, you'll be the lead, or the
Yeah.
the main mystical guy. But
House is so good. It's so good.
you know what I'm actually liking? I'm seeing a lot right now on the internet of people getting the jewelry of Hal, like his earrings and his necklace. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
shit. That's kind of like that swag that I'm like, it's
That
secretive.
someone getting his earrings popped up on mine as well, and I was like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking cool. Also, might be up there with my top scores, Miyazaki score, like film scores. The Howl's Moving Castle theme is just so fucking good. Anyway, that's not news. That's just me chatting though. I just thought that was fascinating that he showed up that prepared. Talk about it. I mean, him and Daniel Radcliffe just like being like, cool, I did the kid franchise phase, and now I'd like to actually pursue acting, which is what I wanted to do in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. And like the fun thing is that they literally, whether it's a hit and miss, and most of the time it's a hit, it like they're just going after the most like not as strenuous, but it's like the most like rangy roles they can go. It's like that's not what I imagined, and then it's like
Challenging,
yeah, challenging. Yeah, that's a good word.
Challenging themselves.
Yeah, so it's
like
it's cool to see that shit, and like again, like it's the whole Chris Hemsworth 2018 2019. I was like, oh, he can deliver comedy. That's crazy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, yes, actors can act if you give them the script.
If we let them.
So it's funny.
Yeah. Should we dive into some news, Tom?
We should dive into some news, but you know what's actually something we haven't been doing in a long time, and I keep forgetting
Clapping
about it.
for-
We clap for funsies.
Yeah.
Won't you get?
I'll start off.
Yeah.
This is for funsies.
This is for family.
There it is.
We have to watch those. We have to watch those at some point.
We do. That's my New Year's. Did I say that's my New Year's resolution?
It is.
I texted that to Tom. I was like, "That's my New Year's resolution: is watching all the Fast films." I can't wait.
I have to watch.
Yeah, because you text me. You're like, "Just watching some Tokyo Drift," and I was like, "Okay, we've been talking about it for too long." Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first. You had some breaking news.
Oh yeah, I actually have to look it up because it just popped off about an hour-ish ago, maybe an hour and a half. Hasbro has just announced they laid off 1,100 employees after laying off about 800 earlier this year. They're having so far, Wizards is carrying Hasbro is apparently what they've said. It's that there's a toy slump is the exact words they've chosen to use. There is a market headwind is actually I did slump. They said market headwind. It's a slump in toy sales that is proving to be stronger than they were hoping. They're hoping the holiday 2024 will pull them through. The shitty thing is that it's right before Christmas. Like if this were a 90s movie, Hasbro would be the villain because the lead character gets laid off weeks before Christmas and his kid really wanted this certain toy. And now he's got to try to find it somewhere and find a way to make enough money to make his kid's Christmas come true. Yeah, man, it feels bad. It feels really bad to read that. I was kind of bummed out. Hasbro, for those of you who don't know, big corporation, owns a lot of smaller companies, Transformers, Play-Doh, Magic the Gathering, D&D, a bunch of others. They make most of the toys you see on the shelves in stores. But yeah, not an ideal thing to hear about right before Christmas.
We do not Hasbro.
No, Hasbro, more like has bitch.
Has broken my heart.
Yeah, there it is. That's way better. It's way more creative. I took the easy low hanging fruit. Um, my and then my in other news, I was going to talk about the thing. I don't feel good talking about that now.
The nice thing that the company that's under Hasbro is doing.
There it is. The company that's under the Hasbro umbrella, Wizards of the Coast, is releasing. Man, it feels bad, but this was my favorite set growing up, Ravnica, the original
What is
Ravnica, and they're
Ravnica?
releasing. Ravnica is known as the City of Guilds. It's a lot of the two color. It's when the two color pairings in Magic were given basically names and identities.
Is Niv
Right?
Mizzet the king of all this?
Niv Mizzet. Now he died and he came back, and now he's the Living Guild Pact. But before he was the head of Is It?
Is it? Yeah, because as it
Yeah,
all looks like
red
that.
and blue.
Like so now, because it wasn't there a whole thing like he's the guild pact man, whatever the fuck, and he's like, I'm gonna be the good guy that sees everyone fairly, even though Is It literally has my face on it.
Yeah. And if I'm correct from what I've read, he's actually doing pretty good, but we haven't gone back there in a while. But man,
genius.
Ravnica, because I started in Onslaught, so it was like Onslaught, and I at the tail end, right before Mirrodin came out, and then it was Ravnica. Ravnica just like blew the doors open for me because I'm a multicolored player, man. I love multicolored spells, and this set was all multicolored spells. It was all blue, white, black. It had what was it? It
Blue,
was
white,
Ravnica,
immediate one.
Dissension, and Guild Pact, Guildgate. Anyway, they used to be in 3 sets. So they're doing remasters, and they've spoiled the first preview of it, and we're getting all the Shocklands reprinted, which is great because they're all totally inflated prices right now. We're getting 3 versions of them. We're getting the standard version, we're getting a borderless foil, and we're getting a retro border version of every single Shockland. So I'm really happy that that's going to be more available to people because I feel like Shocklands are a great addition to any commander deck. I foresee them being under $10 a pop because they did not raise their rarity to mythic, and we're getting 3 versions of them. They also spoiled a few other cards that I'm pretty stoked about. They spoiled 3 different versions of Cyclonic Rift. We're getting a borderless. We're getting a borderless anime Cyclonic Rift, regular border, and a retro border Cyclonic Rift as well. We're also getting Spark Double in anime, normal and retro, and what was the other one that I dug? Lord of the Void. We're getting in regular anime and retro as well. There's a few other that were spoiled, like Massacre Girl, and a few other things like that. But I'm so far pretty pumped, just because it's such a nostalgia set for me, and to be able to get some of these cards that I've loved in retro border is like it's so exciting for me.
That
So yeah.
like light blue thing. The
Oh,
retro
the
border, right?
Cyclonic Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
see,
light blue, and then the anime version, and then Spark Double's anime version. I'm not a huge fan of the anime versions, to be honest. Just a personal preference. I think they're cool to have to the game. Not my cup of tea, but I'm glad they're there. I know a lot of people love them, but the Spark Double anime one, I'm like, oh, though. But I do need that though
Ooh,
because it looks so
Massacre
good.
Girl in Animu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Ravnica Remastered, Spark Double. What the fuck? What happened to my search bar? Okay. Animu.
Oh, you're looking it up.
I'm looking it up right now, and I can't do it on this computer because my computer right now is fucking up like crazy. So
Tell
I
him
can't.
it's overheating.
Yeah. Is this the one where like you see the ghosty man? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you see the ghosty man. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Part of me just wants to make an anime deck so
You're
that I
getting
could
close
like this.
to it, man.
So I could just get like Yu-Gi-Oh sleeves, and then just
Yeah.
it's that much closer to Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's happening. So that's my news. Pretty pumped for that. Pretty excited.
My news is do I do the boring news or do the more shilly news? I'll do the boring news first. The Golden Globe nominees were announced last night, with Barbie having the most nominations since I think in like 70 years since Cabaret. In the
Oh, damn.
comedy department. Leading behind that was Oppenheimer. No surprise. Um, but yeah, so those all came out, and this is the first year that I believe the Hollywood Foreign Press is not in charge of it. It's going to be, I think, Universal's shebang.
Mm.
So
Okay.
does that mean anything? Not if you don't care about awards. If you do care about awards, it could mean a lot because the Academy and the greater powers that be of the Motion Picture Association are obviously at a identity crisis and needs to figure out how they're going to get people back in the world of streaming, Rotten Tomatoes, TikTok,
Hmm.
and otherwise fatigue of IP saturation. It was really cool actually the other night when I went to the shebang thing that Corey got invited to 2 hours before it happened. There's someone who I've like slowly become like acquaintances with, who works at
Mikey.
a, huh?
I was just making a joke. I said Mikey.
Oh yeah, who works at a uh, certain company with a certain production line of things. Don't want to spoil too
Hmm.
many NDAs and shit.
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
they were saying how like how the workflow goes. They're not directly tied to it, but much more the operation side of it. And they were saying like how um, kind of coming from above, responding to the market, they're seeing like there is a lot of that saturation and fatigue for a lot of people, and so they're
Mm.
actually going to continue the slate, which is, but they're definitely going to slow it down and spread it out. And so in my mind, you know, as a human talking to another human who works for a living, I'm like, how's that feel for you? And then it was kind of to my like understanding as well as my assumption that like they were like, this is good because it's the same workload over the course of a longer time. So it's just consistent work that's not so crunch time heavy. And
That's
I
good though.
think that's just a win on everyone's count, right? You take more
Yeah.
time with the craft and the piece, and then also the people who are working and making these pieces as impactful as possible are not having to like sacrifice so much in the name of success and box offices and X, Y, and Z. So it's like
Yeah. I think it's
um,
great.
yeah, it's a cool thing to hear it on that humanistic level. Um, Second bit of news. Corey kind of led into it at the beginning with The Boy and the Heron. Uh,
Oh, sorry.
that's fine. The Boy and the Heron earned $97 million worldwide in the box office, which is huge. It was number one in the American box office, which is it's crazy to think like this is a great time for Japanese lovers of film because Godzilla minus one came out and that shit was amazing, and it's cool. I've been like waiting so long to watch The Boy and the Heron, and like they didn't do any like press or trailer releases until it was like released in Japan. So like I'm excited. I want to watch The Boy and the Heron. I don't. I'm having like the identity crisis of like, should I watch it in um, what's that called? In subs or dubs?
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked that Japanese films at the end of the year kind of have this strong foothold in people's memories because this is the time that Academy Award films are out, so people are kind of like going to the movies at that time. So like all the Netflix limited releases and all these like small films that win all the industry awards like come out, and then now you have these two Japanese films. It's not because I don't like American films, but it's I think just healthy and nourishing for the worldwide audiences to see things made outside the country that are referencing to their own material. We're so self-involved a lot of times of like our own histories, that like we don't get to see how the world views their own histories or their like how they view us in certain ways. But yeah, I The Boy and the Heron, Godzilla minus one. Uh, I'm
Did I read
excited.
correctly that it's his biggest opening
I think
for
it's his biggest
Miyazaki film?
opening, and that's the thing, right? Well, this is the era of like, in a weird way, this is like the era of directors and of characters, right? So like Barbie, big IP, superheroes, a big IP. Godzilla is a big IP, but Christopher Nolan, is an IP himself, and Miyazaki is an IP himself. So like a lot of the trades are kind of like, this is big. Most of the biggest like anime films that have done well in box offices rely on IP, such as Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, or Dragon Ball. So this, doesn't have anything backing to it. But I'm like, you're sitting on the name of Ghibli. It's gonna do well, or it's
Yeah.
gonna at least make some money back. But one thing too, just to kind of talk about it a little bit, just Godzilla minus one. Also, like,
Oh yeah.
it has such a huge success. It has like it was so big and so successful that they actually opened up the theatrical window to be longer so more people could watch it. And
I didn't know that.
the budget listed on Wikipedia is $15 million, and the director like remarked upon that in an interview when they're like, I was like, that's crazy. This looks so good for only $15 million. Like, it wasn't even $15 million. It costs less than that. It's like, I wish it cost $15 million. And it's like, when you watch that kind of movie, and then you see the scope and scale and storytelling and just the it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and it just harkens back as well to like earlier this year, the movie The Creator came out and shot on FX3. You could buy that at Best Buy for $4,000. And that's what made an $83 million movie. That's what was shot on. Obviously, the lenses are another question, but it's like, cool, go make your own movie. And, we're going to see a critical mass of these studio systems and these giant towers of properties, I think, self implode and just kind of get spread out to the wind. And hopefully we see this rise of like almost MTV like directors who just kind of like are so indie, they're so scrappy, but they're really pushing the envelope on like, low budget films and telling really good stories. That, I don't know, it could be something really cool, or it could be 100% wrong. Who knows? But I have hope for the future in the movie world. I just hope that the audience is going to be there for that. So
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a big turn, kind of. I mean, again, this goes into what you were saying before with the fatigue. There's a big turn where people are looking for new stories. They're looking for more. What's the word I'm looking for? Unique stories, I guess. More standalones. I mean, I think it's Oppenheimer and Barbie were a huge turn this year for that, where people are like, oh, this is what we want. I think a lot more of my friends that I've talked to saw past lives than I thought ever would before. I think people are just really looking for more of that, something that kind of challenges something inside them rather than a spectacle. I'm not saying there's not room for both, but I think that people are hungrier for that right now, and it's kind of cool to see.
I this I hate to do this. This is like so fucking masturbatory, and I hate to do this. I sent out my short that Corey you watched.
Yeah.
To a certain few people who aren't in the state, and one of them responded. And it's really interesting to read because it's like they're also a writer director in their own right,
Mm-hmm.
and then they wrote back to me saying like, I think this is your masterpiece thus far. And I'm like, I feel like that's something you say to someone who has like a theatrical release. And it's like, you say this to Nolan, who's like, this is your masterpiece thus far. And so it's just like interesting to think of that. And I only think about because you mentioned Past Lives and Celine's song, for the most part, in a mainstream sense, is kind of an unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And she got Golden Globe nods for Past Lives, and at the Gotham Awards got like swept, and it was crazy
I didn't know
that
that.
movie. We watched that in what, February, March, or when we watched that? No, no,
I
no,
think
no,
it
no.
came out in June,
June. I was way Samsonite.
May or June or something like that. Yeah.
And yeah, it was like, no, I think we watched it in July.
Okay. I believe that.
Yeah, I think we watched it in July. Yeah, because we watched the trailer at my place. And I think that was in May.
Oh yeah. It
Um,
released June 2nd, so it must have been end of June.
yeah. But yeah. I'm surprised because I feel like Everything Everywhere All at Once had such a big buzz for a really long time, and I feel like Past Lives like had half the buzz, but like every once in a while it would be talked about, and then like the fact that it's still in people's minds to get nominated for so many awards, I'm like that's pretty awesome. It's
Yeah.
pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Must
We'll
be
see.
must be Celine Song's masterpiece thus far.
Thus far.
Thus
Thus
far.
far.
But with that, we move on to the second part of the show where we are going to answer questions.
We can ask some questions too.
But we always ask each other questions. It's like, but
We
what
can
if
answer
this?
the questions with questions.
Yes, we can ask questions and answer the questions. We have some questions today that was given to us by the audience members, by nerds from the Discord, nerds from the Nerd On Nation. If you'd like to join and support us, the best way to support us is through Patreon, nerdon.tv/Patreon. But if you want to just be part of the conversation and add your questions from Discord, nerdon.tv/Discord. But if you want to do something that no one has ever done, at least to me, no one's ever done it for me. And I ever since I started hosting these things, I've said this at the top, and it's never happened.
Slip inside in them DMs.
No. Use nerdon.tv/questions. I've never seen anyone send that our way ever. But yeah, you can slip inside the DMs too. You can, Facebook, Instagram, which is the same shit. Which is the same shit. And then on the Elon Musk app every once in a while. Whatever it is. You've written in on that website, T-Dog. It's probably before I started hosting these things. It's probably before I started hosting. So Josh must have saw it. But yeah, Discord or Patreon. Patreon, just for as low as $1 a month to support us out. Keep the lights on, web hosting, keeping, Twitch at its premium, stuff like that. There's a lot of back-end website stuff that just ends up like eating at the wallets, baby. Help us out. We'd support. We'd appreciate it, and then we'd hopefully get our shit together, get some time, and then make some more shit for you guys online. But let's get to some questions. You've been waiting so long. We're gonna answer a question. There's a lot of good questions that I wish more of us were on, because I feel like all of us can like chime in. But we're gonna go ahead and go with these questions that I think are suited for our particular set of skills. This one comes from Brad, and that question is, what's the best holiday food and beverage?
Now we're thinking holiday, like including
like a pumpkin
like
pie
Thanksgiving
and an Easter egg.
Okay, so that we're like going all the way through.
I imagine the holiday food is for
holiday,
the winter holiday.
Holiday.
How about we do two? How about we do all the holidays, and then we do our winter holidays.
Okay, and it's any food or dessert?
I said food and beverage.
Food and beverage. So we get technically 4 things. Okay. Man, that's a good question. I gotta pick out my holiday things. Because there's a ton of Thanksgiving I love. But here's the thing. I make a beef Wellington every Christmas, and I don't know if anyone here has had beef Wellington before, but it's an incredible food that the English invented. It's a what's it called?
I don't know what kind of beef it is.
You make
loin? No.
It's you make the medallions out of it. It's like the oh my god. It's really fancy steak. It costs like $100-something for this cut. Why can't I think of the name of it?
Center cut beef tenderloin.
Yeah, and that's what you make like steak medallions out of. That's what you make filet mignon out of. Fillets, beef fillets. You take that, you cut it, you trim it to a tube. You make some duxelle, which is a mushroom, garlic, pepper, chestnut, everything mixed in there. You cook out the water. You lay out prosciutto on top of each other. You lay out the duxelle, and you wrap the sirloin in that, and then you wrap all of that in a puff pastry, and you put it in the oven, and you just die of happiness because you get to eat it. It's incredible. And with that, I pair eggnog because it's Christmas. I love eggnog. And then I'm gonna go with Thanksgiving for the other one because my family doesn't really do like foods for other holidays. And for me, the number one Thanksgiving food that I need to have is green bean casserole. I
Oh
fucking
shit!
love
Really, green bean casserole.
It's the thing I make every year because I'm sure it's happening, and I get to eat the green bean casserole that I like. I go
I have to
crazy on
try.
that
I have to
shit.
try yours. I have to try yours because my sister made it, and I was like, "This is really basic white people food."
Maybe it is. It's
I
like you make a cream of mushroom soup, and you mix it in with those like crispy onions, and you mix the
Mhm.
green beans in. You bake it, and then you top the top with more of those crispy onions, and it's just heavenly. And then with that, there's an apple cider that my great grandma, I got her recipe before she passed. She made it a few times when I was growing up. We'd go visit her for Thanksgiving, and you make it in a either stovetop or I do it in a crock pot because it cooks for a long time. But it's basically like, I'm not gonna give any secrets here, all right? But it's apple cider mixed with cranberry juice. That's like the key to get the like tartness, right? And then you do orange slices, a bunch of spices, cinnamon sticks, and you let that cook in a crock pot for like 5 hours, and it's
Mm.
so good. So those are my foods and drinks.
For uh for the winter holiday, for a little bit of variety, um, I actually really enjoy a latke.
Yeah,
Latkes are
latkes
pretty
are super
great.
good.
If you guys don't have any Jewish friends, go make some Jewish friends, and then get cool enough with them where they invite you to some Jewish stuff, and
Shout
then
out to my wife.
have a latke. And
Shout out to Netta.
and you can fuck up a latke. I've seen people fuck up their
Easy.
latkes, because they didn't smash out the moisture from it, and then they fry it, and it becomes this like moldy piece of shit.
You need to cheesecloth the
Yeah.
shredded potatoes. Now
But
I gotta ask a
latke.
question, Tom. Are you an applesauce or sour cream latke guy?
I think every time I've had it has been with sour cream. So I haven't had it with applesauce. You can have it with applesauce.
That's the other. That's like the more
Oh,
traditional one is latke
oh,
sauce.
but oh, I was just gonna like ask the most like what's that? What's the most non-kosher thing? I was like, oh, but then I have pork chops, and I was like, no.
No, no, you
No,
don't.
because I was thinking of
No,
Homer
dog.
Simpson's. He has pork chop with applesauce.
Yeah.
I was like, no, don't do that. But yeah, latkes are really good. And then my holiday drink, man, mulled wine,
Mulled
man.
wine. I knew it.
I
Knew it.
love like Ian really fucked me up with mulled wine one time, and it was like in college, and he was like, "I'm making mulled wine." Then I was like, "Why?" And then he's like, "It's a thing I want to try." And then he just came over to my apartment when we were in college, and then he just like got a pot, had this shit, and then made it. And then I was like, "This is crazy." It was just like
I'm
this.
curious because you're saying mulled wine, but it's like
Yeah, yeah, it's
mulled.
mulled wine,
Okay.
but I say it really hard on the old
Yeah. Yeah.
mulled wine. And
I was
because
like,
when I first heard it, I was like, moldy wine? Who wants
yeah.
moldy
He's like,
wine?
no.
Mulled wine.
It's a Viking thing. Of course he makes it.
Yeah, yeah, that was really good.
Shout out to the Vikings. I
Yeah,
guess. I
we'll
don't know.
probably have some this holiday season. Secondly, for just holidays in general, um, just to help Corey rep. But I forget if he actually gives a shit about this one. I do enjoy. No, I mean, yeah,
I'm so curious.
because I'm thinking about Halloween, and Halloween,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't think about it, but you can definitely have pumpkin pie.
Yeah. Oh, Halloween, you should have pumpkin pie.
But I'm also like, but pecan pie. I do like pecan pie.
Mm,
I do like a pecan
love
pie. So
pecan
like a
pie.
pecan or pumpkin pie is a good holiday food. And then
I
a
agree.
beverage for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean, this is like a Steve's answer. Nothing better than having draft beer on a hot day for 4th of July. Good old America. But I don't
no, what's the? He's like, oh no. Steve's be like, oh, Zoa.
Zoa. No, Terramana, man, for 4th of July.
Nice eggnog spiked with Terramana.
Yeah, I mean, I think on like
Shout out to Steve's. We love you, bud.
Shout out to Steve's. There's a question
Actually, I'll
here.
say I had some of the best holiday food ever last year.
At my holiday?
Tom's mom
cooked. It's at my holiday.
It was 100-star treatment.
100-star.
Incredible.
We had the pictures. It was so good.
Oh man. Juniper had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next question. All right. Dougler. Dougler asked the question. Oh, I don't.
Wait, before we get into that, Tom, back on the food thing real quick. You had a deep fried turkey this year.
I did have a deep fried turkey.
How was that? We've done it once. It was good. But
oh, you weren't here for the episode when we came back. Oh, we did the update. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Honestly, I think it's probably one of the better ways to prepare a turkey. And I've had a lot of turkey in my life, and I think turkey is hard for people to get right because not a lot of people know how to keep it like moist.
Yeah.
And wet and juicy. Yeah, because it's dry as shit and it's a lot of fucking white meat and it's a big ass bird. But like deep frying it is actually really fucking easy. You just can't be a jackass. Like you gotta properly defrost it. Yeah, it takes time. You gotta properly defrost it, make sure it's dry as possibly can be, and then don't fill your fucking oil like crazy. Like go below.
And don't just drop it all in.
Yeah, you gotta slow it down. You gotta.
And then if it starts to like bubble a bunch, just hold it there. Just wait.
Or pull it up.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, because it's gonna. Well, there is still moisture that's gonna bubble, and you can wait a second and let it chill out. And then if you think it's going crazy, yeah, pull it back up and start again. Yeah. But like, man, I see a lot of those videos every year.
It's insane. Like we had the fire extinguisher ready for us, and I'm just like, we don't even need this. Like, just take your time. Like,
good,
cooking
looked really good.
Like, cooking isn't like The Bear. It is not people fucking sweating like crazy, bumping each other like, oh, corner. It's just like, bro, shit, get a bigger kitchen. But also like, you can fucking take your time. Some things take fucking time. Like sous vide, that's a set time. You can't rush that shit. Deep frying a turkey, that's set time. Just fucking take your time. But it was good. I liked it. The skin was super crispy. The meat was pretty juicy. I've had juicier when I prepared turkey, but I did it like a slow roast over like several hours, where I would take it out and then rebaste it, take it out and rebaste it, which not a lot of people want to do because it takes a lot of fucking time. And I had to prepare it for a whole 24 hours the day before I even fucking roasted it or baked it. So, you know, it just takes time. But that was good.
What was the question you want to read?
I don't want to do this one because it's better if we have more people on.
Okay, we'll save it then.
So Dougler, I'm sorry, I'm skipping this question.
Because it's so good.
Yeah, it is good. It'd be good with multiple people because we all laugh. So the next question I'm going to do is going to be from Johnny Horror, 1992. Johnny Horror.
Shut up.
If you have the ability to change it to one animal, what would it be and why?
The ability to change into one animal. What do you got, Tom?
Change into one animal? It would be
Salacious Crumb.
That's you?
No. For you.
You
know who that is? Salacious Crumb?
I know who Salacious Crumb is, but I was like, is that the animal you want to turn into?
No.
It's
crow. Easy.
True. I think you're gonna say shark.
Yeah. I'm afraid of the ocean. Orcas out there eating shark livers. I'm not about that. Let's turn into a crow.
I would have to say an animal. Maybe a.
I was a boy. Now I'm a bat.
Oh Jesus! When you say I was a boy, I think of Vincent D'Onofrio from Daredevil. I was once a boy because he tweets that all the fucking
Yeah.
time, and I'm like, but
I love
yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio, man.
I mean,
Not sponsored yet.
maybe. I'm like in between an owl and a turtle.
Okay.
Like I like turtles.
And they live a long
True,
time.
truly,
That's the closest you can get to your
for
immortality, Tom, is
immortality
living 150 years as a tortoise.
as a tortoise. And I do like owls because they are birds of prey, and then just like they're fucking look like aliens, like when they're babies, and they turn their heads around like psychos.
Sure, yeah.
Um, and mostly everything's afraid of them except humans.
Everything's
Um,
afraid of him.
mice, snakes. Like most things are afraid of owls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Some people
like
are too. They sound scary at night.
yeah,
They're in most horror things in the sounds. Just woo. Like, what the fuck was that?
I would. Who, what? What do you want? What do you? You keep asking who. You should be asking how I feel. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a human and you're afraid of owls, look. Fear is something we all have to live with. We all have to go through. But an owl, I'd be afraid of like a vulture. Maybe it's like, oh, I'm about to be dead. They know I'm about to be dead. You know what I mean? Like a crow. No, I wouldn't be afraid of any. Why would you be afraid of a bird at all?
Crow? Yeah, people are afraid of crows. I don't know. It's probably because of Edgar Allan Poe. It's his fault.
Oh,
A bunch of old racists, man. Anything black people were like, it's bad luck. Like, all right.
you should watch House of Usher
Okay.
because there's a lot of Edgar Allan Poe stuff in there. Like not in the creepy way, but in like the good way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay. You know, I'm gonna say a turtle. I'm gonna say a turtle because I'm also not a strong swimmer, so I'm like I would like to be something that could swim pretty well. Give me something I can't do normally. I mean, flying is something I can't do normally, but you know,
This looks good. All right.
it's good.
I like that.
The last question from the pre-selected ones, I'm gonna take a question from Mamba, and that question is I just put it away. I just put it away. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. This is the Tom Show. Always technical difficulties at all times. Also, I checked my OBS Ninja Corey while we're talking about this. A little behind the scenes for everybody. It still said my CPU was like exploding. So
Cool.
That's cool. Black Devil Mamba on the Discord. Black Diablo Mamba on the chat here asks, what are some things...
is there an ad going on? There's an ad going on during his question.
Got a sub, baby. What are some things that lifts your spirits when you are feeling down or when you just don't want to do anything?
What are some things that lift our spirits? Okay. I mean, magic is a big one for me. Like whether it's playing Magic with people, deck building, whatever, it's a good one. I'm also a big believer in baths. I've been taking baths my whole life. We have a lot of bath accessories. We have salts. We have fancy bubble bath stuff. I have a bath pillow. A lot of people think it's Dana's stuff. She doesn't take baths ever. It's my stuff. I'm the bath boy. I think they're huge. But yeah, baths are a big one for me. And then like comfort food, I would say. Like those are my top 3 things: magic, comfort food, and baths. Are a big way to pick myself up. If we're not including like, I told my friends I was feeling down. They took me out. I told my wife I was feeling down. So if I'm just talking about treating my I'm gonna diagnose and treat myself having the blues. Comfort food, bath, and some sort of game. Magic is usually it, or get online with playing with some buddies online. So yeah, I'd say that's it for me.
What are some things that lifts your spirits when you're feeling down or when you just don't want to do anything? I think for me, um, I do enjoy watching other people have fun because I think it makes me feel like I too can have fun in a weird way. Because like when I'm down and about it, and I'm just like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to exert any more effort in anything. Like burnout for me at this point has been like when you don't feel like you've made an impact in the thing you're working on. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things that I do so fucking much in every aspect that there's no way I usually feel burnt out about anything anymore because it's like I can clean my room.
Who
I
was
can clean
talking about that?
what?
Someone I was watching a interview somewhere, and someone talked about what burnout is. Burnout is it's that guy. There's this guy on TikTok and YouTube that I don't know about him yet, so I can't advocate if he's a good guy or not. Whatever. So take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. But he is a developer. Used to work for Blizzard. His dad worked for Blizzard. But he was talking about burnout. Burnout is the idea that you're um, not making an impact in the thing that you're uh, contributing to. And he talked about he was working at Activision, and he came to his new boss when he got hired by another company. It was like, I think I'm experiencing, I feel like I'm not meeting my quotas. And he goes, that's because you're working for a regular company now
Hmm.
and your work is great. Why don't you take the next couple of days off, come back on Monday? It's Thursday, go home, take Friday off, come back Monday. And he was like, man, tell you what, that's great. I'm gonna send you some of his stuff. We got to figure out who this guy is, whether he's cool or not. But I think you'll like it, Tom. I think of you every time I watch him. I can't believe I haven't sent you one yet. But continue. I'm sorry, I got totally ADHD sidetracked.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no. So I mean, like I clean. I rearrange my room. I work on a project, or I go work out, or something like that. Right. So there's so many things I can do and I do in my life of routine that like I don't ever really feel like cool. If this thing is lacking in my life, I'm gonna pivot and then just do this thing that I know I could succeed in. So like over the weekend, I felt a little like tired and exhausted of like moving all this shit because I was moving stuff for my work and I didn't want to move my room anymore and I was tired of cleaning my apartment. So I was like, let me grind up some Dark Souls. And I started playing some Dark Souls. And I actually got a little further than I have been on stream, which I'm like, oops, I should have maybe held off on that. But I was just I want to do that. I wanted to feel progress in that regard, right? And then for a while I actually stopped playing Magic for a little bit because like I got super I had to drop it. I had to drop it in order for me to finish the film that I was working on. And then I did drop Magic, and then I just don't want to come back to Magic for a little bit because I was just like working on the film. And now I'm completely done. I'm like, it is ready to go to film festivals. I just have to recoup some money and actually fucking send that shit because that shit's expensive. But now I'm like, okay, cool. I have this Torment of Hellfire. Where should this go? I don't know. I was like, I got this Throne of the Death God, whatever the fuck it's called. What is this called? Oh, it's called Throne of Death. And I'm like, where should I put this? Does it go in artifacts or just go something else? I don't know. And then just kind of thinking about that kind of stuff. And then I'll go watch a video about like someone who's like made the deck that I was thinking about making. I was like, let me see them play it, and then they have fun with it. Or if I'm starting to suck ass in Sekiro, I was like, let me go watch someone actually enjoy playing Sekiro who's really good at
Yeah.
it, and then be like, okay, that's how they do it. That's how I'm gonna do it, and I still suck ass. So I try to do that, or like I do try to take myself out, and like my therapist really kind of congratulated me on that fact of like I go and try to like take myself out. So I like go out and get something to eat, and that's like I'll check out a restaurant that I've always wanted to check out, and I'll go. Or it's like I always keep forgetting why people don't like Silver Lake Ramen, and then I'll be like, let me go to Silver Lake Ramen, and I'm like, I see why people don't like this place, but it's like I see why people can like this place. Or like I go watch a movie by myself, like Godzilla minus one. Or I'll just slam through a bunch of movies at home while like I do something else. I just I just really try to identify the thing that's like not making me feel good, and then just switch gears and just try to find like the almost the polar opposite thing that I know that I can succeed at, and then it'll allow me to come back to it. Because at the end of the day, the thing is going to be there, and we had to address it at some point. But it's like it doesn't have to be addressed right now, and that's I think the crazy thing is that we get fixated on that. Do you want to do one last question?
I do.
Okay.
I do want to do one last question.
Actually, let's do two more because the next question is pretty short. Next question's from T-Dog. Or actually, wait. So, in case that question came up already, Brad, did you have a question? I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that in the chat. So, Battery Print says, "Okay, I made it. Your shipping couple name is Calm, as in, oh lordy me, I'm about to calm," which is actually a question in the thing that I didn't want to ask. Is the question that I said like I don't want to ask this question yet because it'd be better if we had more people.
Okay. We'll still save it. We'll still save it.
Yeah, but it's crazy that Battery Print said that in the chat. I was like,
out of all of
did
he
he read that shit? I'm like, of course it's on the Discord. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. We'll do it with everyone here. Hopefully we'll have a full house next week.
Yes. Question I want to ask though is T-Dog, what animal has the worst farts?
Ooh. I mean, it's gotta be cows, right? Because it's killing the ozone.
Oh, you know, I didn't think of it that way. I just thought of it because I've driven on the 5 so much of my life. And we all know that part of the 5 where you're like, all right, time to roll up the windows.
It has the unfortunate nickname.
What's the unfortunate nickname?
Cowschwitz?
I did not know that. I did not know that.
That's like a nickname for that area of the 5. There's a place. So for those of you who don't know, driving up the 5 or down the 5 from San Francisco to LA or vice versa, there is a section on the 5 where there's about probably acres and acres just worth of cows, and it smells like cow shit, like really bad. It's the point where like before you get there, you better roll up your windows, turn on that little like cycle the air in the car, and get through it. And it has an unfortunate nickname, and that is Cowschwitz, because it is just livestock.
Yeah, did not know that, but yeah, I know what part you're saying. We both know it well. Yeah. Cool. We both agree it's a cow. And so the last question is actually going to come from Black Diablo Mamba, and I like this question. I think it's a good place to end the night. What meme that you actually learned something from watching it? What's a meme that you actually learned something from watching it? Now, I don't know a lot of memes that you watch.
Or just seeing, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Is there video memes?
What meme did we actually learn something from watching? That's a good question. Oh man, I think this is becoming loose. That's cool.
You have to. You can undo the whole thing. Oh yeah. I think you could do. I had to undo my.
I gotta screw it in. I see it right here. Right here. I gotta screw it. Oh, I need like an Allen wrench. A Tim Allen wrench. I don't know if there's ever been a meme I've learned something from.
Actually.
Oh, you know what? It's probably those Keanu Reeves ones. Do you know what I mean? Where it like blows his mind. The conspiracy Keanu, is that what it is?
Oh, no. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Conspiracy Keanu?
It's the whoa meme.
Yeah. Conspiracy Keanu. Yeah, that's what it is.
Mine is typically the meme of hard pills to swallow.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the hand.
Is it the one with the scroll of truth? Oh.
It's kind of like that, but it's like the prescription drug pill, and it usually says like things like, you know, fixating on other people's approval does nothing for you, and just making yourself happy by your own definition is truly the definition of happiness. Or it's like, happiness isn't a choice, it's just a feeling that's fleeting, and you have them, and fixating on trying to keep that all your life isn't actually reality. And I was like one of those like, what the? It's like hard pills to swallow. It's like, what the fuck? You know, it's like those things where it's like, oh shit. I think about that shit. Honestly, you know what's crazy? Something that I've been getting a lot of lately is on the good old Instagram. I think it's a channel called Project Kaize or Kaizco or some shit. But pretty much they just take all these animes and just like mash them up into different cuts, and then they have like the little TikTok formula of like someone in a deep voice, and it has words, and it's like shit like, so what, people have been, you know, hurtful to you, so what if like, you know, you feel bad one day, that doesn't change the fact that you got up today, that doesn't change the fact that like da da da. It's like really good happy shit. I wouldn't call those memes, but they're just like, oh man, like in the vast sea of really shitty things being made, there are very good things being made in the style of kind of like a memey thing.
I like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I like that. Yeah, that's all I got. Memes, man.
Yeah.
Memes.
With memes. So Keanu and hard pills to swallow.
Yeah, I don't think it's conspiracy Keanu. I think I got that wrong. It could be that. I remember that guy at the rave who has like the realization. You know that picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
The guy who's like at a rave, he's like this. I think that's the one I'm thinking of, where it actually is like, oh my god, I just realized
Oh
this,
yeah.
this, and this. 'Cause I think conspiracy Keanu is like, what if cars just pull roads towards them? And I'm like, no, that's not. I didn't learn anything from that.
Yeah,
shit.
the guy at the club is like kind of one of those like, your memory of something is actually just the last time you remembered it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, with everyone in the chat, won't you tell us your favorite meme that you've learned something from in the Discord? Also, give us someone we can raid right now. Thank you for everyone swinging by on this hopefully not so technically crazy stream tonight. Yeah, check out our Discord. Check out nerdon.tv for some podcast episodes. I guess I should just announce it. I haven't started it, but I'll definitely be making it. Last year I did a top movies of the year, and it was kind of like a fun, dumb thing that I wanted to do. And I'll probably be making something again this year at some point. For the patrons, I will be uploading a screener of the short film that that some of you have read, and some of us have worked on, and you guys can check it out on Patreon soon. Check that out. Check it out. We're going to go ahead and raid Duly Noted Gaming, and they're playing Binding of Isaac. Thank you for the recommendation, Battery Print. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Come back next week. It'll be the last update of the year. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your family member that you're actually cool with.
Tell your friend's mom.
If you're not cool with their mom, if you're cool with your friend's mom, you could tell them. But come out. New jobs helping a bit. Hopefully rejoin the nation in January. Hey, Battery Print, take care of yourself, and you know, watching us, shouting us out is happy for me. As long as you are enjoying your journey through life and all, and we can see you on the chat
Get some
every once in a while.
in the new year.
Yeah. Or we gotta check out that Trejo's Tacos or Trejo's Donuts, because you're mentioning you live by there. So take care, everyone. Until then, we're going to go ahead and raid Duly Noted Gaming. Binding of Isaac Repentance. We're gonna start the raid now. Take care, everyone. Uh-oh. It says not available to raid at this time. Did they just end? Did they just end? Please. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Raggy.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
What's happening, Tom?
It's changing. It's the curse of the time. It really is. Like, I'm becoming like what's his name? Dresden, Dresden wizard, where like he's not
the Dresden Files.
Where he can't be good with technology.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? It says unable to raid. It says unable to raid. What the fuck? Oh, okay, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna have to
slash
choose someone else.
or raid, right? Raid. The duly noted gaming. Bam. Nope, that didn't work.
Oh my god. Knights of the Old
Slash.
Republic is free with Prime Gaming right now. Wild.
Oh. Raid. Duly noted gaming. Boom. Oh, their raid settings won't allow me. They won't do it. It's not my fault this time. I'm just going ahead and
They don't
raid.
want raids.
We're just gonna go ahead. Do you have another suggest bad reprint?
Yeah, give us another one.
Give us another one.
Jeremy, that son of a bitch.
Tell him. Tell him. All right. Well. Oh. Okay. Mamba, go ahead. That's Steve's would love that.
This is crazy.
Sasha Grey. They're playing Bloodborne. If Mama doesn't have something, we're gonna go Sasha Grey playing Bloodborne because I might just watch this. All right, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Okay, cool. Jesus, Brad. Okay. Oh, nope. Okay. Well, okay. Bill Butts.
Brad.
Bill Butts for Mamba. Bill Butts. They're playing Honkai Star Trail. Okay, cool. There it is. 3, 2, 1. This raid is happening. Take care, everyone. You all know the drill. As always,
Turn on.